If anyone's having a good meatloaf right now, get in touch and let me know. We'll get back to some of the things you used to buy and you can't now. 0800 111 40 41 very shortly. But first, let's catch up with this incredible story that we first featured on BBC Essex a couple of years ago. And that is a vicar from Lexden who wrote a song about undergoing treatment for stage 4 skin cancer. Well, 2 years on, Reverend Matthew Simpkins got in touch with us, saying that despite going to a hospice and making arrangements for his passing, he's now out of the hospice, obviously, cancer-free, following successful immunotherapy treatment, and sitting opposite me in the studio. I don't know where to start talking to you about this story, Matt.
Well,
let's start at the beginning.
I should just explain that I wasn't in the hospice.
Yeah.
I was under the hospice at home care team.
Right.
So they would come and visit me.
Yeah.
And I haven't eaten meatloaf for 10 years.
Yeah.
You on the beginning of my particular tale, I was diagnosed in 2019 with something called acral lentiginous malignant melanoma, which came on my toe. I thought I damaged my toe playing football badly, and it proved to be something else. And so I had my toe removed and some other operations at that time. And then roll on a few more years and it returned. And then I had immunotherapy. And that's the point at which we were last speaking, when I did a song out of the sounds of an MRI machine, because I thought it'd make a good backbeat. Yeah. And then at the end of 2022, my treatment was suddenly stopped, and then I was called in to the hospital, and they said that because the cancer had recurred, they would stop my treatment there. So I spent the next year trying to get on clinical trials and came under the care of the Royal Marsden. Wasn't able to get on a clinical trial, but they were willing to give me the last line treatment. So I spent a whole year preparing people for what was likely to come next, through church and through my work, and going on tour across the country with various bands, doing various things like that, spending as much time with the kids and the family. And so at the end of 2023, I had this treatment and carried on working, and did a gig on the Monday, and on the Wednesday I had a headache which Lemsip would not cure, and it turned out that I was having aseptic meningitis. So I had 3 or possibly 4 waves of meningitis and was extremely ill, in hospital in Colchester, and then London in several periods, which affected my brain, obviously, and my speech, my eyes and my ears and my liver. But while I was in hospital in London, one of the very wise nurses said something strange to me. She said, "You're lucky." And I said, "Well, I feel lucky in many, many ways, but not particularly today." And they said that occasionally there's an extremely rare reaction to the treatment that causes these rather nasty side effects. But if it's attacking your brain and your liver, it's odds on that it's attacking the cancer as well. And so in 2024, halfway through, I had a scan, and my jaw hit the floor because it was gone. It had been on my lungs and in my back, and it was gone. And I've had 5 scans, and it's not there. Now, it can come back, I know that, but it's astonishing, and I really give thanks for where we are. It's remarkable.
So the treatment for meningitis cured the cancer. Not cured the cancer, but attacked the cancerous cells as well.
No, actually, it was the reaction that caused the meningitis, which was an overreaction to cancer drugs. So it did more than it should have done. And that overreaction, that overdrive of my immune system meant that it was attacking my brain, and that's what was attacking the cancer at the same time, which is extremely rare and quite an unusual way of getting to the place that I am. But I'm very pleased to be in the place that I am.
But within all that, you've been under care of a hospice. So before before you realise this, what's that like, making plans to pass on, move to the next world whilst you're on this one?
I think we tend to be reticent about that. And being a priest, obviously I've experienced a lot about life and death, and I thought I would have considered it earlier, but it actually took 2 friends to say to me, you can ring up the single point team at St Helena and come under their care. Because I think in most people's minds, hospices are for people who are a week away from the end, but it's not the case. This single point care team at St Helena was wonderful, and so even before the meningitis, they were so helpful in a number of ways. And I would really recommend to your listeners, if they're in a similar position with stage 4 cancer and it looks like the cards have been set on the table, they are people who treat you with dignity, can help you organise medical things, can offer you and your family things. They offer counselling if you've got kids. Wonderful. And the thing is, if you've got cancer, you are just living. You're living. You live in your job and with your family. All you really care about, all I cared about, was making sure that I wasn't impacting negatively on them. And from time to time I was. But to have an advocate, someone who looks after you, this hospice home team, was wonderful and powerful. And it takes layers and layers and layers of worry away, so that you know that even if you are going to die, and I was reconciled to that, I knew I was going to die with dignity, which I think is really important. And so I'm just grateful that I had the chance, I understand, to be the first person looked after by this particular nurse, to be able to thank her in person. I know, and obviously lots of relatives would have thanked her, but I realised as I did it, it was quite a poignant moment. And obviously in my day job, I was thinking of all the people I know who've been through the hospice. And I think we must rejoice that we have these wonderful places and support them.
The other thing that just strikes me from meeting you, Matt, is that you were told that there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something that comes from that, because you were told effectively that, there's nothing we can do for you, and yet you're still sat opposite me. So there's got to be something from that fight that you feel we can learn as a society in this world that we're in today.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I would say personally, I never used the word fight, because it was my life. And you can't fight things that come at random. I mean, my main advice for people with cancer is not to listen to people who want to give you advice. but nevertheless, I think there's something to be said for trying to make contact with people who will be able to support you and your family and put you in a position where you are able to make the most of what time you have and what energies you have, because that's when you're on treatment. You might have, 15 minutes or half an hour a day when you're awake or not being grumpy. And I think for all of us, well, it just is a fact of life, that life is for a certain period of time, isn't it? And I sometimes feel cross with myself that it took a diagnosis of cancer for me to really realise what wonderful things I had around me and to appreciate them as they were in the moment at that time. I could have done that 20 years ago.
What a lesson that is. And tell me about the Matthew today then. This is, and you still do a lot of music.
Yep.
And, as you said, at the moment the scans are all clear, which is fantastic news. How do you live your life now and carry yourself now as a result of what you've been through?
Well, I think it's helped me in my job as a priest when I'm visiting people who are ill, because there were moments when I lost the ability to speak and couldn't remember names, or and had waves of pain. And actually, that's useful shared experience. It reminds me what not to do when I visit people. But the music started again only when I became ill the first time. That's one of the great gifts that's come through that time. So now I've just been appointed as Vicar of St James, Clacton and Jaywick, starting in September. And some music that I made during a period when I thought I was dying with my son, I've managed to put together, and it was released a couple of weeks ago, which is called Headwater. And I'm playing concerts supporting that. And it's music full of reflections on that time. So if you're interested in that kind of experience that I went through and how I found hope in that experience, as well as pain, the record is a good place to start. It's called Headwater.
How can people find it?
You can find it through the usual streaming.
Yeah, okay.
It's Rev Simpkins Headwater, but if you care about what the artist gets, if you look for my record label, which is Antigen Records, or go to Bandcamp, type in Rev Simpkins, you'll find it. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. It's the least I can do. Matthew, incredible to meet you.
And
I'm
you.
going to shake your hand. Thank you. Incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
May I just say something about the hospice?
Absolutely, you can.
So I just really encourage people to support their local hospice. If you look at the news, they're in great financial trouble. You may not need them now, but someone in your family may well do, and you may do one day. If you look at the St Helena Hospice website, you can donate there. They do have real financial need at the moment. I think the wonderful work that they do is really worthy of our support. And even in tough times as they are now, if there's anything we can give, I know it will make a difference to them and through them to all sorts of families all over Essex. So I just encourage you, don't buy my record. No, seriously, don't. Give the money to your local hospice.
Take care, Matthew. Pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Thanks.
All the best. It's Ben Fry with you on BBC Essex. Time now.